Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another speed build, but first off, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all of those fun things. Especially since today's build is the holiday. It's the holiday themed, it's one of the houses from the holiday, so it works out. I think it's kind of perfect. So I'm currently on holiday at home with my family, which is really nice. We're going to be talking about the holiday. It's all a fun time. Now, the inspiration from this actually came from my podcast called Shelf Life. My brother and I talk about different pop culture pieces of various formats and discuss whether it belongs on your shelf, whether it be physical or digital media, all of that fun stuff. Go check it out, have a good time. But we did do a episode on the holiday movie. And we had a good time doing that. And it's one of the things that pops up, of course, is like the houses that they swap between two. So in the movie, if you haven't seen it, we have two characters that are kind of having a bad time, a rough time, and they could kind of use a way to get out of their life and go on a holiday in a completely different area than what they're used to. And one of the houses is actually this really cute English cottage. Kate Winslet is in the movie. That actually is her cottage. And then we have Cameron Diaz, who is more of this like Hollywood kind of rich person with her giant mansion and all of that stuff. But the cottage is actually very cute. And a fun thing, a little fun fact for you guys, is that the cottage was built for the movie. It didn't exist before the movie. So fun little fact for you guys there. But I really like it. I think it's kind of cute. And, of course, being me, I was like, well, I think it would be fun to build in The Sims. So here we are, building that cottage in The Sims and having a good time with it. I think it was actually kind of fun. There are plans for it online, so you can kind of like see the blueprints for it. Now, the one thing, right, is it looks like there's just one big loft room upstairs. Now, there could be different size, maybe storage on either side, but it is kind of just this rectangle, and the upstairs doesn't really fit that rectangle. So I did add on a second room and I shrunk the bathroom a little bit. And you'll see that later and we can talk about why. But I wanted to make sure that the outside had that same form, had that same shape, and all of that good stuff for it to look like the house, at least from the movie. And as you guys know, I do like to have everything that I make from something else. I want it to look as much as like possible like that build from whatever it's from, whether it be another video game, whether it be from a movie, TV show, etc., etc. I want it to look as identical as I can get it, and then also make it functional for The Sims, because it's way more fun to actually be able to play in the house for me and use it in like different situations than just kind of have it for fun, for aesthetics. That's me, at least. Some of you guys might be like, I don't care. I just want it to look good. We can put some Sims in it and then you don't have to worry about it because you're like, I'm not actually going to play in it. They can live there. It's fine. No big deal. But for me, I want to make sure it's functional for you guys. So it did kind of make more sense for me to take some creative liberties and add that extra room, maybe kind of move a little bit of stuff around so that everything functioned a little bit better. But otherwise, the basic format of the house was pretty basic, pretty simplistic because of the rectangular shape. And then we just kind of add all of the little details inside that make it really warm and cozy and just like the movie, really, as much as I can. So I went with a nice dark wood for the floors. I was trying to come up with the best fireplace to use. I thought this one from Cottage Living was really, really pretty and kind of fit the personality and the way it all looks in the movie as well. I kind of liked the rectangular one from Ranch, but I don't know, it just didn't feel like it fit as well, especially once I put in like the built-in bookshelf to the side. This one just felt like it fit so much more. But I did get to have the little beams in with the columns, and I even put the half wall next to the staircase, which I think was almost perfect with what the movie room looked like. I thought that worked really well. So I did make sure I had all of the little features here. I did like a stucco almost for the walls, for like all the walls, and then I had some of the stone looks in a lot of places. So that kind of was a feature in a lot of the rooms. It took me forever to figure out what carpet to use in here. I'm not going to lie. I tried many different rugs. I wanted it to have that like beautiful look to it with like the pattern and everything. This one, this was isn't the one I actually landed on in the end. So we'll come back to this once we have the right rug. But these chairs were actually kind of perfect, and so was that table. I did not hold back with using all the packs in this because I was like, what looks right? What works in this space? What works right? And I went with it. So, yeah, I did not hold back on this. But the couches and the chairs I thought were almost perfect for this space. We had the ottoman in the middle. It's like really large, and I kind of made it almost like a tapeable ottoman because I put a light on it. You'll see that in a minute. I was like half debating on changing the shape of this room so many times. You'll see me go back and forth with having that wall there or not. I do end up like saying, yes, we need that wall there, and changing the shape of the space just by one square. And it actually worked out, I think, in the best doing that. It let me have a lot more items and space and places to put things that way. So you can see here's the bookshelf built in on the side. And then I go to adjust literally everything. So I have to push everything back by just one square. And it gives me just enough space to have that wall in the front to kind of section off the front, I guess, foyer with the rest of the house. So you have like the living room space, and there is that wall next to the end table. So it works out really well there. Just so many little adjustments, though, to make sure everything fit. And I do make the ottoman double sized, so it fits even better. It looks more like that big square one she has in the middle of the room. And I kind of like it's interesting, but nothing really matches. So none of the items I'm using actually go together in a set. They're all kind of like found items, almost like you went antiquing and you're like, oh, I love this piece, I love this piece. None of it matches, but we're gonna put it all together anyways and have fun with it. The one thing I feel like I used over and over again, though, is that lamp. It's like in every room. That lamp is literally on like every surface in every room. But if I like was looking at screenshots from the movie, and I was looking at screenshots from just like someone going through the house and taking pictures, and I felt like, yeah, that's the same lamp over and over again. I feel like I have to use it now. It has to be there. But even in most of these rooms, I do take out those saucer lights that make everything super bright, and I have only the lamps and only the wall lights in all of the spaces, which actually kind of adds to that nice like warm glowy feeling. It doesn't make everything super bright and vibrant, but we do have enough light in all of the rooms that it doesn't feel super dark and kind of dank and all of that kind of stuff. So it's still really good with lighting. There's still enough windows and there's still enough lighting so it doesn't feel just so closed in. And I liked that there's just so many different lights and there's so many different little details to use in this. So I even put a little teapot. We have the little lantern that's like a little side table light. I did take the pitcher and shrink it, so it kind of is more like a little thing that would hold cream. So I thought that worked out really well. And then there was like a bowl of fruit that I needed to put here, so I had to shrink the fruit and then use a little bit of a trick to get it to fit on the table right. So if you don't know this trick, you can take one of the modular items that they gave in the packs and you can set it to the height of whatever you're trying to set it to, because you can move those at any point on the wall, which is really nice. So if you set that to the height of whatever object you want it to sit on, put the object on there, make sure you have move objects on, bb.move objects is on, and you can like just I guess, alt place it onto the decoration as a decorative piece onto the table, and it fits at the proper height. I couldn't do that with the ottoman. I tried for a second, and I was like, oh, it's a little too big. I couldn't actually get it to the proper height because it was too high. And I was like, you know what? I actually don't mind that it kind of sinks into the ottoman a little bit because it looks really cute. It's like this nice tray with like the little books and the plants and the candles. It's way too adorable not to have there. Now, I love this other rug that we used in these two rooms. Perfect. They have that bit of a faded look to them to me, and they look a little bit older. They look a little bit more worn, and I like that. I feel like it fits way better than this bright blue one I chose. And I did change it. I promise you I changed it. But yeah, here we are adjusting once again the wall space. I liked having the column there because of how like the spandrel looks, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't really have one in the images that I have of the home, so we're not going to have that there, which I think is totally fine. But it does really section off these places a little bit nicer. It does bring like an entrance to the area so that you have a place to put your keys down, you put your shoes away, you put your coat away, and then you move into the next room. So I like that it sectioned it off a little bit more. And I did shrink the shoes. It didn't fit that well in the corner. So they just have really small feet in that house. I don't think that that's an issue, right? It's not even going to be noticeable, I promise. But all these really cute pictures that we had, I felt like that sheep picture, perfect. And then we have the cute little farm pictures, all these landscapes. I was like, you kind of have to have these in here. They fit way too well not to include them. And then anywhere we actually have like lights coming down, we either use this little lantern or we use that other hanging light from Cottage Living because those were the two that fit the best. So a lot of cottage living in this pack, but I mean, it is a cute little English cottage, so it worked perfectly. I also recently got the book nook kit, which is what those bookshelves are from, and then that cute little like book saver and stuff like that. And I was like, this is actually a really great build for that because she has this gigantic library. It's one of those things where it's like, I can't tell how rich this person is because they have this massive library. And I do feel like a cottage like this probably isn't super cheap. We talked about this and we couldn't really come up with an idea if it would be really cheap or not. I don't know. Any of you guys from like an English cottage, was it really expensive? Do they go for like a big price nowadays? Because I kind of want one. I'm not going to lie. Kind of want one. Uh, But now moving into the kitchen, I use the really pretty light blue counters from the Cottage Living pack. I did put down a more plain rug in here. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys are used to this, and I never really think about that, but like putting a rug in your kitchen, but it looks really nice actually. I kind of like how it feels and looks here, and I think it makes the most sense because there is like the dining table as well as everything else. But the china cabinet from Cottage Living worked so good. It was like almost identical to one in the movie. So that had to be in here. And then I struggled a little bit to figure out what door I wanted to go to this back area. I feel like it was more of like I don't know, like a back door, like a back room that almost was like a Four Seasons room or something maybe at one point because the door in the movie is open and I realized that it has a window on it. I really had to like analyze this movie to figure everything out. I'm not gonna lie. I was like staring at pictures going, okay, now this one has this look to it. Okay, and this thing from The Sims kind of works well. Well, the door was open. It does have a window on it. So it made me think, oh, it's kind of like a Four Seasons room almost, where you have like a windowed door to that back room and then a room or a door that goes to like the garden or the backyard. I didn't go with the windowed one. I liked this door. I thought, oh, might as well keep it all a little bit more cohesive. So we went with the boarded door instead. But you could definitely put in the windowed door there. I kind of wish, I mean, I could have used like a tools mod or something, so I could have had like the door open, so it's more like, I guess, true to the movie. But I think this works out pretty well. Now we're moving on into the library. We talked about this. All of the book nook hit really came in handy here. Just bookshelves across both of these walls completely, just everywhere, surrounding the door and just completely covered. This is where I'm like, holy cow. I mean, she is an editor, so my assumption is she also does editing of books and not just for the newspaper. But my God, it's awesome. I love it. I want a giant library like this too. It's not like giant, but there's so many books. I love it. And then we even have a few more shelves on this side and then a nice comfy chair in the corner. I did add a computer and I made sure it was the one that almost looked more like a typewriter to the desk because I feel like as a writer or as an editor or any of those types of things, this would be a great space for writing. It'd be nice and cozy. You'd have the books of inspiration around you and you'd get everything done there. This one also has the white paneling on the wall, which actually adds to me to the coziness. We have that lamp again, perfect for reading by. And then I mix and matched some of the floral paintings on the wall just to add that look to here. I think, if I recall properly, because I know I was looking at this wall a little bit, those paintings are more like a black and white, or they look like drawn flowers and plants. But, works perfect. I think they are pretty, and it works really nice. I also put that horse picture on the wall there. I love having all the like the farm and ranchy stuff around here too. So now, of course, because I couldn't help myself, we came back here to get the proper rug for this room, which is a bit more light, again, a bit more dulled in color. I love it. I think it's perfect. It fits with all the different colors that we have going on in that room. And that lamp, I swear, it goes everywhere. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not just going to copy and paste this lamp again. But we do go upstairs. More fireplaces. There's 4 fireplaces in this entire house. We have one in the living room. There's one in the kitchen. There's one in the main bedroom, and then there's one in the secondary bedroom. So nice and warm. Everything's warmed by only the fireplace, in my opinion. And yeah, that's what you get. I kind of wish we could fit one in the little library as well, just because God, that would be even better. It'd make it even more cozy having a fireplace there. So now up here in the main bedroom, I tried to make it the same shape or at least like have the same items that you saw in the movie. So we have the blue chair, the I'm using air quotes here. We have the built-in wardrobe in the wall. If I could make this wardrobe actually look like it's built into the wall, that's what it's supposed to look like. Fortunately, this is what you get. So we put 2 of those on either side of the fireplace. And then this bed is actually pretty perfect for the room as well. The red I wasn't feeling the red, so we do end up changing it to a pink, like a more like a salmony pink. And I think that was a great choice on that part. And I was definitely trying to find the colors for all of the furniture that would match almost identically. So I did use these more rustic looking blue and wooden topped side tables. Now, as you can see, I did adjust the rooms just then, and that was mainly because I wanted everything to fit into this main bedroom. And I figured, you know what, we can eat into the space of the secondary bedroom so that I can get this size right and where the furniture goes to fit as well. So we have a nice little table at the end of the bed. I kind of picture this as being like a table and a place you could like sit and put your shoes on or whatever. But it's covered in books, more books, stacks of books, basket of books, as many books as you can imagine. And then even underneath and inside of it, more books. Yes. If you wanted a sim who loves to read in this house, I think they would love it because there's just books literally everywhere. I even moved this blue chair. You'll see this in a minute. But I moved this blue chair and I put stacks of books behind it because I feel like if they even had some more books and no storage space, just kind of stack them somewhere that they fit. So there they go. And then another desk up here to work at and sit at and like read or do whatever. And then more of our lamp. Our favorite lamp is all over this room, just literally on every surface. It's perfect. And I actually really liked how this like other dresser, this little cute dresser in the corner was like so nice. You have a little tray with a coffee mug and a book and just that really cute candle and plant combo. And one thing I didn't want to do but couldn't really do because of how, the Sims works and the shape is, there's like a bit more of a built-in shelf next to that. Yeah, no, that wasn't going to happen. I was like, I guess I could add some more books, like built-in shelving, and then add more stuff on top. And I'm like, it just didn't feel right. It felt like it was just like kind of crammed and just like too much in that corner. So I opted out of doing that and went on to everything else. So we have our bathroom in the middle here. Have to have that lovely classic tub that you see Cameron Diaz try to relax in on her holiday, and make sure that that's put in here as well. I don't know why. It does look like it would be a luxurious bath, even though it looked kind of small. Something about those tubs does seem kind of fun. Like you'd want to take a bath in one of those. And then what I did with the secondary bedroom. So I figured Kate Winslet's character has a brother and he has daughters. So she has a couple of nieces that I feel like if they were staying at her house ever or, going to hang out or just do like a sleepover or something, I feel like she would have a secondary space for them to stay with her. I feel like that just makes sense as like her aunt character. So that's what this is going to be. It has 2 single beds in it, and then a few toys and a dresser. Really simple. I didn't want it to be too cluttered because they're not like technically her kids, but I feel like she'd truly dote on them and make sure that they had like a little space to stay with her whenever they're over at the house. So I put the 2 beds of like the same one. I thought that was like the perfect style for this room. But we went with 2 different colors because I feel like they might want to be a little different, being sisters. So we had a nice pastel blue color and a pastel pink that I think worked really well together. And then we put in a rug in front of the fireplace that could be in like a nice little cozy place for them to play and just kind of relax and have a good time together. And again, favorite lamp, gotta have it. So that, of course, is included here. And then we put in a dollhouse. I figured the castle dollhouse would be kind of perfect for this. All I keep thinking is like, oh yeah, English like castle. We need to have one of those. And then the fit with the cottage theme, we of course have the cute little sheep chairs. I love these things. These cute little seats that are sheep. They're just so adorable. I feel like I want one in real life. Ugh, kind of need it. And then I put a little friendship bracelet kit and just a couple of toys here. I liked having this old toy chest because I feel like, oh, maybe it was Kate Winslet and her brother's, I guess, old toy chest that they had when they were kids. And so she put it up there for them with all the old toys that they used to play with together. And then, of course, have to have good board games or puzzles that you'd do as a family. And then I really liked how this was. It wasn't too much. It wasn't like really sparse, but you could tell that a kid would either live here or stay here. And I think that actually works out for what it is. You don't want it to be too much, right? You don't want to have too much clutter all over the place. Otherwise, it's like, okay. Now the aunt's gone really crazy and just wants everything for them, which you know what? Honestly, I feel like you would. As an aunt, you kind of go, yeah, I want to have everything for that kid because I love them and I don't have to deal with them 100% of the time, but we get to have fun when we're together. So we just kind of add in a bit more clutter here, some cozy stuff, some pillows and blankets, and anything else that feels like it would fit into this space. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have actually seen The Holiday. Is it one of your favorites? Let me know in the comments below, like, what is your favorite holiday movie? I know that there's like a ton of them out there. You have a lot of different classics. You have the comedies, right? You have the really sweet ones, um, or the all the animated ones. Like, what's your favorite? Is The Holiday actually one of your go-to Christmas movies? I think at one point I saw a clip of Jack Black being interviewed, and they were like, "Oh, so what's your favorite holiday, like Christmas movie?" And they're like, "Oh," and he says something, and they're like, "Not yours? Like you're not your movie?" He goes, "I'm in a Christmas movie," and then he totally forgot like The Holiday is actually a Christmas movie. But like the thing is, right? It's more about going on a holiday, like going on a vacation, than it is about Christmas. But it is one of those, yes, Christmas time movies. So technically it is, a holiday movie. Same thing with like Gremlins, and everybody says Die Hard, and like all of those types of movies too. Technically, because they're done in the Christmas time and it's kind of like slightly in the background or like almost in the forefront, it is a Christmas movie. So you can always like have those as your favorites as well, right? But of course, if you'd like my brother and I's opinion on this movie, go check out Shelf Life because we had a good time talking about this one. It was a very fun episode, actually. It's another reason I feel like telling you guys all about it. We had a really fun time recording it, a lot of good discussion, and a lot of funny stuff comes up. So I hope you guys go check it out. There's a link in my description, and I probably put a card up. So, that's it. I'm just going to, I just got to put in like all that advertisement for myself. Why not? I can. So now I'm putting in some flowers. I want them to make sure to have all of that clutter. There is a lot more clutter in this actual house than you think about until you're looking at all of the little details. There's just so much just stuff everywhere. So I put some flowers. There's technically vases and stuff on that mantle, but I decided to go with the little llama, and then we put a couple of plants just to give it a little bit of color and clutter at the same time. And then I wanted to make sure to put some more books down and some more space and little clutter pieces everywhere. So over here, of course, we have to fill up the kitchen with little stuff. We put in a chicken for your eggs. We put in the little sugar, flour, coffee whole containers. I love those. I actually enjoy those. I don't know about a lot of people who use those anymore, but I do. We have those in my house. I love them. I think they're actually a really nice thing that it's easy to use and it functions well. Mostly I use it for coffee or flour if I'm making bread, but that sugar one for some reason not as opened as much as you probably think it would be. Anyways, so over here on this side, I wanted to add a few more pieces. Now I do think something I wanted to do, and I just realized I did change this fireplace to the square one. This one actually fit better for the kitchen. But I wanted to do this, and I thought about it, and I tried even upscaling the shelving. There's way more shelves around that fireplace and like on that mantle and everything. Because I think, and I'm not sure, there is an oven, but I think maybe the fireplace is being used to either cook or actually being used in that way in the kitchen. So there's like a lot of stuff around it in there and being used for more storage, but I just couldn't get that to work. And I was just like, you know what? I like the way it looks. I don't want to mess it up. Let's just keep it. I probably could have been even more detailed with that, but I'm like, let's make this a bit more usable for people. Don't just start throwing even more stuff in there and making this outrageously expensive. It's probably expensive enough. So now out back here in this little room, this is more like an outdoor shed. So you'd kind of expect just some cleaning supplies, some stuff to work on the outdoors area, all of those good things. Nothing too crazy. And then I even put in a space for like a coat and maybe like, shoes. I guess like what is the word? Wellies. That I think what I just call rain boots. in that room there. And then I think we're actually coming outside now to do the garden. And yeah, if you look at the movie, it is just outrageously overgrown, bushes, flowers, just everything everywhere, right? Super overgrown. So I tried to capture that here. I put in a lot of different flowers and bushes. I kind of tried to shape around this pathway so it didn't look so perfect and like like straight. So we put a lot of little bushes that overgrow onto it, and I just used as many different items as I could without getting a little too extreme. So once I found those couple bushes that filled in a lot of space and also kind of looked at like the right height and everything, I went a little crazy. But it took a little bit to get exactly what I wanted. I think I did even just like scour debug and live edit just to find anything that would work well for us here. And there it is. There's like my favorite bush now. I think if I have to have a favorite bush in The Sims 4, it is going to be that one right there. The leaves, the shape, perfect. It just kind of filled in that space in such a nice way that I just put it everywhere. And then I added some ferns, and we just make sure to make this look super overgrown and just kind of like beautiful. I could imagine the amount of like bees just going, "Yes, I love this garden. This is my favorite garden ever." Adding in some taller flowers here and then some lower flower bushes around the place as well. I think this turned out really cute. I'm super happy with how all of the design came together, and it is usable. I did make sure to go into this house with a sim and make sure all of the spaces were walkable and all of the items were usable. If I missed something, sorry. Just move it, fix it. It's not a big deal. But otherwise, I was very pleasantly happy with how everything worked and came together. I also tried not to overdo it with like all of the plants and everything because I feel like you could easily do that, right? So I did just make sure that they were in this little front area. We put a little bit in that back corner, and then I'll put a little extra on the other back corner where you'd come out to like the back garden, back door area. I loved that little piece. It added so much just like character right there. So I just kind of hid it into that roof and it was like perfect. It's one of those things that you don't really get to use something like that. You'd have all like those little pretty wooden accents, and I thought that was so good here. And I did add in a couple more cottage living things with the stumps and the little tree thing for the birds and the rabbits. I put a little fire pit out back. I didn't put any chairs around it, but you could easily put some chairs. I think your Sims will even just like stand by it just to warm and have somewhere nice to hang out and relax. See, that's a really good bush. What pack was that from? Because I don't even remember now. I think it's Snowy Escape. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's my favorite bush now. And I think it will be probably used in like everything. It's a good filler plant. But I did add in a little bit of extra here, and then this is when we go back inside just to add in just a few more embellishments before I take you through a lovely pictured tour. Oh, that light, such a good light for that desk. I don't know why it took me so long to get it to line up well. But we have that perfect little lamp there, and then just some extra embellishments for this room. I wanted to make sure that all of the little shelving for the bookshelf had stuff on it. I didn't know what to like exactly to fit here. I'm like, oh, I guess I could put like some pictures. We could put little boxes of like memories or like pictures or just like little odds and ends that you'd have and collected over the years. So we have just like little statues, and I was just kind of going having fun and trying to see any little thing that would fit on the shelves and make sense to go with the place. Just enough clutter to make it feel lived in, to make it feel really homey and just like really inviting. Because, if you really want to go to a place and and have a nice holiday, a nice little retreat. I think this would be a perfect spot to just kind of get away from everything and relax. Just a couple extra pictures there, and then a few more things here. Oh, gotta have the cookbooks. More books, right? Anywhere I can get them, more books. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below, would you stay here? What's your favorite holiday movie? I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday season. Subscribe if you aren't already. Go check out my podcast, Shelf Life. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you probably can find our podcast. And I will see you guys next time. So, keep gaming, keep crafting, stay lazy. Bye, everybody.